Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday night, depending on where you're at, or happy whatever day you're tuning in. Happy to be here with you. If this is your first time here, I am Stormy Grace, and we are going to go through the weekly astrology, what's going on in the cosmos for the week of August 15th, starting off with a beautiful moon in Aries kind of energy. I love starting weeks where we have, like, we're coming in with this initiation energy. So I'm really pumped to talk about what is going on in the cosmos this week and to be here with you live. I am on my travels, you guys. I'm still out here traveling the world. It's where in the world is stormy San Diego. And I am actually right now in Loveland, Colorado, on this cute little farm out here with my family, and pumped to just be here with you, to be living the digital nomad astrologer life. And no matter where I'm at, no matter where I've been, whether it has been in Mexico or in South America where I was last year, being able to come and do astrology with you guys. So thank you so much for sticking with me, enjoying the journey with me as Stormy Grace has grown. A little bit of housekeeping for this week. We have got the beautiful Michael Bartlett coming back from the YouTube Academy to answer questions this Wednesday, and it's going to be at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Normally we're going at 11 a.m., but this one's going to be at 3 p.m. And Michael is coming back to answer questions about retrograde planets in the natal chart or retrograde planets in astrology in general. So if you have questions, come show up live or go back to Michael's video, which I will link underneath this video. You can also go check the community tab that is on my home YouTube page to get the link back to Michael's channel. And we will be gathering on Wednesday to answer your questions so you can continue to see, what does it mean when you've got retrograde Jupiter in your chart? I do. What does it mean when you have Mercury retrograde, but then there's a Mercury retrograde in the sky? How do you work with that? So lots of good information coming up on Wednesday. I hope to see you guys there. We will be live. Now, also, the Astrology 102 class was filled actually until about an hour ago, and I have one spot left. Our other friend is not quite ready for 102, so I have one spot left in that class. You can find the link to join the 102 class, which will kick off on September 8th. We'll be teaching it live. I'll be here with you. It's a separate class. We're getting into decans, transits, chirons. We're going to do interpretation, and you'll also have the opportunity to have the additional 30 minutes after each class to do questions about your own personal chart with me. So if that's you and you are ready to do some 102, take your astrology skills to the next level, jump in with me. The link is in the description box down below, okay? All right, beautiful friends, hello, and let's get into what's going on in the cosmos this week. Now, like I said, first of all, we're coming in on Monday with the moon in the energy of Aries. And I love this for us. You know, Aries is it's an assertive, not necessarily an aggressive energy, right? The lower evolution of this Aries energy can just be pure aggression, but it's moving into the power of assertion that allows us to initiate, to move things forward. Moon energy, right? Monday is a moon day anyways, right? Moon day. So with the moon in Aries, I ask you to consider right here on Monday morning, what is it that you need? What do you need to initiate? Where do you feel like emotionally you need to make a start with something? Where do you need to be the warrior of your own emotions in an assertive manner instead of just an aggressive manner? Now, we've also got Mercury. Let me tell you this about the moon as well. Before I move on, I got all excited about Mercury. But we're also going to see that this moon is interacting with the expansiveness of Jupiter that is also in Aries. But remember that Jupiter is retrograde. So I will tell you, like, truly, when you're thinking Monday about what is it that I need? What is it that I need to express? What is true to my heart? And I want you to just also remember, picture it in your mind's eye. Aries is the energy that gets us out of bed in the morning. But Aries is also the energy that says, I have a damn right to be here. I have a right to be alive. I have a right, you know what I mean? It is that assertive energy that states, I'm here to do this. So at that emotional level, paired with this Jupiterian energy, what is it that you are ready to take on as a new blessing, an optimistic outlook where there's an enthusiasm emotionally about what's got you fired up as we're traveling here on Monday? So I want you to keep that in your mind's eye and think about that. And it doesn't have to be that you go out and like start a brand new adventure. Remember, Jupiter is retrograde. So where in your new identity are you even feeling enthusiastic about coming out a little bit different? We're like, I'm coming out. Like, what is that for you? But on Monday. Now, we do also have Mercury and the nodes working together in a beautiful trine. Now, wherever we see the transiting north node in play with any of our planets, any angles in your chart, things like that, it's a pulling forward. It's like, hey, come here. This is a resource. Let's, as a collective, move in this direction. And Mercury is Mercury, right? It's information. Now, I want to share with you a thought that, first of all, watch the Mercury video that Michael Bartlett also did for the YouTube Academy in the YouTube Academy playlist, which, again, the link can be found in the description box down below. But Mercury, when it shows up, it's bringing information. And typically, it's bringing like a new information or a new perspective. Right? Jupiter is the energy of the information's already been here. Now I'm deepening it. I'm taking it to another level. But Mercury is the, you didn't see it this way. You didn't know this. Here's a new perspective. Here's new information. So Mercury and the nodes talking to each other in this particular transit arrangement right here on Monday, new information is coming your way. Or, you know, the nodes for me also signify people, places, and things that show up and they pull you forward, right? Like they pull you to where you're going next, that next resource, that next sense of Taurus energy. I am beautiful. I can do this. I can do hard things. I can do things that take persistence. It's that kind of energy. So enjoy that as we're moving through this energy right here, Monday morning, getting up, getting after it, especially if you think about it, on Sunday the 14th, we were wrapping up that Mars-Pluto energy. And I think that that can be felt for a couple days. Mars was in a trine to Pluto, and it brings a lot of drive to the table. So we're still going on that as we're traveling here on Monday, okay? Now, as we roll into Tuesday, something to be thinking about is that we've got Mercury now in the energy of Virgo. So first of all, it's in home court territory, you know, so it's got home court advantage. We're discerning things. We've got new information, but we're also discerning or picking up patterns about what's going on with this mercurial energy. And then that is sitting in a trine. So a nice, easy energy of opportunity. Mercury and Uranus are talking to each other with an ease, and they're creating a perspective of opportunity, but we have to go to the opportunity in order to take advantage of a trine. But there is some ease that is available there. So as you encounter this energy of Tuesday, think about, you know, Uranus is in Taurus, okay? Taurus does not really prefer to be shaken. Right? It's like, no, you don't need to jostle me. And Uranus is all about jostling you. It's like, this has been in a rut. Let me get it out of the rut. So with Mercury and Uranus and Taurus talking, what do you need to say? What needs to be expressed? Is there an opinion? Is there a perspective? Is there a pattern? Is there something that you need to say, maybe even get honest about? Because Uranus is out here in Taurus unearthing your gems, all these jewels, these deep minerals that make you up, skills and talents that maybe you didn't even realize that you had, you know, things that you can do, hard things. It's unearthed that. But just as easily, Uranus has also unearthed from that Taurus, that deep Taurus earth, some skeletons. And Mercury's here with its antennas looking around with ease, with willingness to be honest about the patterns in our lives that are showing up that actually keep us in a rut or keep us in a place where we're working on a life that is delusional because we're not current with the truth about our actual patterns. So where is there something that you can look in your life today on Tuesday and say, okay, if I want to change something or if I want something different, I've got to do something different, right? What does that look like for you? That's a great thing to explore as we're traveling right there on Tuesday. And I'm telling you, wherever the Taurus placements are in your chart, you've become innovative in some way. You've invented something, you've broken out, you've had an electric experience in some way, shape, or form. And it can be just as simple as a different perspective or having a conversation with the same old person, but you're talking about it in a different light. Now, we're still going to experience for most of Tuesday, the moon being in Aries. So you also have this sense of internal, like, I can do this. There's the warrior energy kind of rising up in you to help you have any conversations that need to be had. And then later in the day, we're going to see the moon entering into lush Taurus, stability in the emotions. This is something we can all really use, right? You want to have that emotional stability. But as we get later in the day and we see that moon move into Taurus, I'm going to ask you to picture in your mind's eye, what is it that you need to nurture in terms of what makes you feel lush and sensual and luxurious? What do you need to acknowledge in your emotional being that brings you stability and comfort, right? This is the land of Taurus. Can you spend Tuesday, Wednesday in a state of beautification? Inventive beautification. Where are you acknowledging your beauty, the beauty around your community, the beauty in whatever the Taurus area of your chart is, in a way that you've not been able to see it before? That's an absolutely delicious use of that moon in that particular area of your chart. Okay, as we get down and we skip through the week and we get to Thursday. We're coming into Thursday with Venus and Jupiter in a trine to one another. Now, Venus and Jupiter are known as our benefics, okay? They bring benefit where they go. They are trying to make things a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable. They bring an optimism to the table. So it's really an aspect as you're experiencing it that can feel very good. Now, also, Venus and Jupiter are feel good, do it big, or go home kind of energies. So as these two are in this trine, or they have easy access to one another, and they have ease of access to a conversation with one another, you're going to want to be mindful that sometimes too much good is too much good, right? It's a transit that I think we can all kind of go, oh, I could really use some of this optimism, a little bit of this celebration. Maybe even you seem or you feel like you or something around you is a more attractive, or you can access it easier. But that food, that shopping, that fun, that pleasure taken on too much can actually create your very next issue in your life. This is an aspect that I caution people, that common sense moves to the back burner. Thank goodness that Mercury is in Virgo. That's going to help us out, right? Like, we got a little bit of our thinking caps on, but if the feel goods feel too good, common sense moves to the back burner. I do it just because it feels good, and I may have to pay the price later. So just be mindful, it's choices. We're out here making choices. That is exactly what's going on here, friends. As we roll into Friday, we're going to now see the moon get more social. Okay, we're moving so much out of just the emotional body, the processing and earthy body of processing emotions. We're going to move into the more intellectual space place of the moon moving into the energy of Gemini. Now, as we experience the moon in an air sign, first thing to think about is it's the moon, my emotions, my reactions, what makes me feel secure today, all happening in my head. So first and foremost, you maybe have to stop and think about what you're feeling before you just respond, right? Clear communication, learning to translate how you feel, what you think into how you feel, and forward and back is a little bit of the dance that happens when you have an air moon. I have an air moon. So I will tell you a situation will happen and I have to think about how I feel. It's not that I don't process feelings. I just have to run them through an air filter. An air filter. Oh, that's funny. So if you have an air moon, you might be able to to commiserate with me here. Or if you have experienced seasons of your life where your moon has progressed into an air sign and all of a sudden you have to think about how you feel, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, the other thing that we can see as kind of a some commonplace things as the moon moves into Gemini is that you want to do Gemini things. You want to network, you want to be social. Maybe you want to write, or you're feeling like emotionally you want to do more than one thing at a time. I would tell you, if there's a big emotional decision on your table this day, talk it out. Talk it out. Be very Gemini about it. Talk it out if you need to do that in order to land at the best decision for you. I also think that because Gemini is a mutable energy, it's a great day to finish things, right? Our mutable energies take it from the cold, steady hands of a fixed sign and transition it to what it needs to be next. So what do you need to emotionally sign on the dotted lines with at this particular energy, because it is quite good for finalizing some things. So even as I'm saying it, what's coming into your mind where you're like, yeah, you know what, I really do need to go on ahead and wrap that up. So I'm sure you've got one or two things. All right, as we travel on and we get into Saturday, the 20th. Here we go, you guys. Emotional seatbelts buckled. Click. Mars moves into the energy of Gemini. Now, this is big ticket item. This is big news for us, okay? We're going to see and we're going to work with Mars in the energy of Gemini until March 25th of 2023. We've got 7 months. So when I tell you to buckle it in, that is what I mean. We're really going to review this Gemini area of your chart. Okay, but this is our first blast moving in. This is what we call an ingress or an incoming. So as Mars moves into the energy of Gemini, first of all, Mars is what we do, how I do it, but also my desire, right? What do I want? What would I like to have? Who do I attract to me? Okay, Venus is an attracting energy, and it's like you use Venus to put out your peacock feathers, and you say, "Oh, this is what I do. This is how I'm cute." But that Mars energy are the people who come to you, right? So you may find people wanting to talk with you, communicate, network a lot more. Now, Mars in Gemini, I think quite practically, what do you want to do to learn something else? What do you want to know, right? Where do you want to take action to be flexible and adaptable, Gemini, to have what it is that you'd like to experience? Where do you need to be flexible? Now, Mars in Gemini can be incredibly indecisive. Incredibly indecisive, right? It's that air energy of Gemini. So you're like, oh, I'm doing this over here and I'm doing this over here. Oh, and then before you know it, the projects, the things, the to-do list, the mental list is so loaded, and you can feel like you're moving in multiple directions. So I ask you to be mindful and to be thinking about that. But also, what are you motivated to do, to know, to experience? These are great questions as we see Mars move into the energy of Gemini. And Mars is an incredible strategy energy, right? So make a strategy. Gemini wants to gather all of this information, bring new perspective. It's a Mercury energy. So where can you gather new information to build a strategy for success in the Gemini areas of your chart? I can tell you, for me, for Stormy Grace, I've got Mercury in Gemini and my midheaven at the top of my chart. There is a lot of refresh to the branding that's happening for Stormy Grace, right? Stormy Grace just turned 7 years old. We're coming to the next level. So for the next 7 months, you guys are going to get to watch me grow up in public like I have since the beginning, and watch the changes that come to it. Now, depending on where this sits in your chart, that's the house you want to keep your eyeballs on, okay? We're going to be working with it from the 20th all the way until March 25th. So jot that down. Jot that down, friends. All right. Now, as we are continuing through the weekend and we get to Sunday, I feel like is a bit of a busy day. Honestly, we've got Mars that's moved into Gemini, so the mind also gets busy thinking about all of these things. You know, when Mars moves into Gemini, I just want to share this with you guys. When Mars moves into Gemini, my husband decides that we need to like uproot a piece of our house and like redesign it every single time, like every single time. So as Mars moves into Gemini, I can tell you he's already been hinting at needing to like redo our greenhouse. And I'm like, so, you know, watch the astrology happening around you and just take note of it with the people around you. I think it's really interesting. Okay. So when we get to Sunday, we are going to have, first of all, Mercury in an opposition to Neptune. Okay, now remember, when we're dealing with opposition, we've got planets pulling apart from each other. They're going in two different directions, but planets want to integrate. They want to create some kind of conversation. They're trying to get information to you in some way, shape, or form. So with an opposition, you can take it and continue to go in two different directions, and it turns into mental frustration, right? It's opposition, means it's relational as well. So you can have problems in your relationship. You feel like you're getting further apart instead of closer together. Mercury always is going to point us to some kind of misinformation or miscommunication. And whether that's somebody said something and you didn't understand it, or you perceive it one way, right? Mars is also over in Gemini. So the Mercury energy is big and busy this month for sure. Like we've got that going on. Now, a way to work with it though, is to create the sweet spot, right? Instead of pushing out, getting further and more confused, try to find the compromise in the middle between the information that you are receiving. One of the things I would tell you is if you get information and people are like, yeah, but we need a decision today, I would really pause on that. Because you're like, well, I'm not sure what's true. I'm not sure what's the treasure or the trash over here, right? And if anybody, short of an actual emergency, do you know what I found out? That only emergencies are emergencies. I found that out from a healthcare worker. And that may be like, you guys might know that already, but at the time, this is like, I don't know, 13 years ago, it was mind-blowing information to me because I would think that all sorts of things were actual emergencies. And they were like, you know what? Actually, only emergencies are emergencies. Isn't that incredible? Anyway, I got off track. See, I can't even talk about Mercury and Neptune without getting into the weeds. My husband is an Aries. So as you're trying to find the sweet spot, if somebody's demanding a decision from you, say, you know what, listen, I need to pause for a minute, or I need to get professional consultation on this. I need some other eyes on this besides just mine, because you kind of just get into the weeds. That's another thing. You may find yourself in these like deep, wonderful discussions and conversations with people. And next thing you know, you're at this really deep place, or they have asked you a question, or you ask them a question, and next thing you know, you're in their past, right? Like you watch a person, Neptune, like they get in there into their past, and they're having this actual experience with it. That is a Mercury Neptune opposition experience that I think any one of us can say, I have absolutely experienced that with another human being. So I just to share that little piece of information with you. So anyways, be mindful of that. Okay. Now, other things that you can do to find that sweet spot integration as we're traveling here on Sunday is do things that allow you to express the emotion, express the essence of who you are, express what's bubbling at the surface, whether it's pure joy and excitement, it is transition, it's culmination, it's fear, it's rage, right? Where is that rage loaded painting that you need to do to expel it, so that you're not allowing your body to be a coffin for unprocessed emotions? Where is that beautiful dance or that singing in the shower? I have concerts in my car all the time. People probably think I drink and do drugs, which I do not, but the Neptune vibe catches you and it wants to come out. So use Sunday as a time to find a way to have the expression in a way that is going to evolve you to another place instead of just take things. Now, as we're closing out Sunday and we're getting ready to move to next week, which I'll catch you next week, we're going to have the moon move into the energy of Cancer. So it comes back to home court advantage as well. And first things first, take care of home. Go home. Once a month, you are given a cosmic opportunity to go home, right? Come home. Come home. What do you need? What do you need to nurture? Do you need to check in and see how secure you're feeling? What's going on with your reactions in life? You know what I mean? Because the moon is very reactive. Where does your home life need a little bit of attention? Do you need to tend or to check in with the people in your life? Do you feel like you belong in your life? Cooking, baking, checking in on that intuition, inner child work, your parents, right? It's a come home kind of energy that the moon brings us back to once a month, and you have the opportunity to experience it. And I'm a Taurus. So I just feel like if the moon is in Cancer or all of Cancer season, like just go bake things. Go bake them, pour that love out through your fingertips and through the food, or share it with other people, or go to places or restaurants that just really give you something that when you take a bite into it, you're like, this is the thing, right? So lots going on cosmically. We're still in the game, friends. Another week that we have made it back to the weekly report together, living this life as human beings, trying to evolve to the best of our ability, checking in on the energies that are coming so that we can affect positive change in the energies, the communities, and the spaces around us, right? So it's a really good deal. And that does not always mean, let me tell you what, loving somebody, loving our lives, loving the people in our community does not always mean that we are just being yes men, women, and others, right? Sometimes the most loving thing you could do for another person is tell them to sit the hell down, right? So you have to establish within you and your lessons and your life and your context and your chart, what is the love looking like in terms of its expression for you this week? And whatever it is, I hope that stepping in here with us together today gives you an idea of how the energies are coming, and you can choose where you're ready to grow evolutionary. So I love you guys a ton. I look forward to seeing you in the 102 class. I've got one spot left, so whoever's spot that was supposed to be, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to see you. I will see you on Wednesday when we are back here with the beautiful Michael Bartlett to answer questions live about Mercury, retrograde planets in the chart, retrograde planets in the sky. What happens when you've got a debilitated retrograde planet? What do we do with that? So lots of good questions. And if you've got to make sure that you leave them down below, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, I love you, and I will see you next week. And remember, I don't know if I said this, but the transits for the week will also be in the description box down below.